1 through 3 innings of play, getting set to go now to the top half of the fourth, where it'll be Charlie Allen, Darren Opel, and Sean Harkins to come plateward for Louisville.
Can't get any closer than these first 3 innings. Both teams 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error. Playing like twins.
Billy Thompson, after making the final out of the 3rd inning for Kentucky, needing a little bit of extra time to get the catcher's gear on, and he now gets out behind the plate, and we're set to go. Lauren Frazier on the mound. Got into some problems, Tom, back in the 3rd, gave up a couple of hits, but an error, a big error on Adam Shadburn, certainly did not help his cause at all as it led to an unearned run.
Be interesting to see, Rob, if this will be his last inning or if Keith Madison will go a little farther with him.
Charlie Allen, the center fielder, to lead off the 4th. Allen struck out back in the 2nd inning. And he takes the ball a little bit outside. 1-0. Here's a fellow who went 4 for 5 against Morehead State yesterday, and a hard line drive hit right at the Wildcats second baseman Eddie Brooks. Allen 4 for 5 as the Wildcats played up in Morehead on Tuesday. Had a couple RBIs and a home run. He hits this ball right on the nose, but right at Eddie Brooks.
Fastball tailing away. Actually got a little bit off the end of the bat. Lauren Frazier. He's having a little fun out there today. This is not an SEC game. This is of course, an interstate rivalry between 2 schools that traditionally don't care for each other very much. So the competitive fires are burning today on both sides, in both dugouts.
Here's Darren Opel, and he hits it on the ground to Brooks at second. Easy play, the throw across to Matt Braga, and quickly there are 2 out for Louisville here in the 4th inning.
It's what you usually get, Rob, when you get a pitch away from him and you try to pull it. You end up hitting a weak ground ball. He would have been better off just to try to go with that ball to left field. When you try to pull that kind of pitch, it's generally just the easy ground ball, front out.
Here's Sean Harkins, now the left fielder. Harkins struck out back in the 2nd. One ball and no strikes to Harkins, the Cardinal left fielder. Junior out of the state of Nebraska. He's a transfer from Fort Scott Community College. A lot of junior college players on this Louisville ball club. 1 ball and 1 strike now. The count even.
Again, different coaches have different philosophies about dipping into the JUCO ranks. Some people do it with great regularity and with great success. Keith Madison, who's been here for 14, 15 years or whatever, he's got a set program. He very seldom will go into the JUCO ranks.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, and hits foul out of play to the right side. 1-2 the count. Harkins went 2 for 5 in the game against Morehead yesterday, and went 2 for 3 against Kentucky 8 days ago back on April 20th. 1-2 pitch, cut on and missed. And it looked like Billy Thompson dropped the ball, had to make the tag, but that's the final out of the inning as Lauren Frazier records his 4th strikeout of the night. We've played now through 3.5 innings here in Lexington, and the Kentucky Wildcats and the Louisville Cardinals still tied up 1-1. We'll be right back. Rob Bromley along with Tom Wallace back in Lexington, Kentucky, where we have seen a good ball game thus far. And we're tied 1-1 as the Wildcats come calling in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And you get a look at part of this Kentucky crowd here at Shively Field.
Good crowd, Rob. It's just another argument for starting these college baseball games at a later date, a later time. They could have a lot of interest here and some nice attendances if they would just start these games a little later. And they should start the season a little later as well.
Brad Hendersman to lead off the 4th inning for Kentucky, and he takes a ball, 1-0. Hendersman, the designated hitter, grounded out unassisted to first base back in the 2nd inning. Hit sharply into right field. That's a base hit. Now Hindersman has his first hit of the night. A sharp single into right field, and the Wildcats have the leadoff man on for Eddie Brooks.
It looked like a pretty good pitch, Rob. It was low, but like a lot of left-handed hitters, most left-handed hitters are good low ball hitters, and he went down and got it and ripped it to right field for a base hit. But Hindersman's been hitting everybody lately, so makes no difference which hand you throw with.
Eddie Brooks now, the Wildcats second baseman, standing in. And first pitch hitting. That ball hit a ton down the left field line, but foul and out of play.
Well, Brooks way out in front of it, but like you said, he didn't cheat himself with that swing.
Brooks grounded out to third. His first time up back in the second inning. He's 0 for 1.
Brooks, another one of those talented young players, Rob, that Kentucky has. They may suffer some this year with this youth, but in a couple of years, this is going to be a really strong team.
And the count even now. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kentucky trying to get something going here in the fourth inning. Game tied 1-1. Wildcats with a leadoff man on. A leadoff single by Brad Hindersman. He's at first base. 1-1 pitch from Thompson. And a strike on the outside corner, and Eddie Brooks did not care for that call.
That was an excellent pitch. He took a lot of speed off of it. It really fooled Eddie Brooks. I'm not so sure if Brooks was as mad at the call as he was at himself for being that fooled. An excellent pitch by Thompson.
1-2 pitch. Low and away in the count even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Tried it again, but just a little bit outside and low.
Brooks hit just .237 last season as a freshman, but right now, coming into this game tonight, hitting at .314 with 7 homers and 27 RBIs. All-State his junior and senior years at Lexington Lafayette. Ball hit foul down the left side and out of play in the count, holding it 2-2.
Troy Trumbo from Danville, Kentucky, warming up in the bullpen. Another one of those excellent multi-sport athletes. A good basketball player when he was at Danville.
Townsend getting the sign from his catcher, Scott Klein. Now he's ready. Now steps off the rubber and takes just a few more moments now. And Brooks momentarily out of the batter's box. Now he steps in and we're set to go. 2-2 pitch. Hit in the hole and through the left side into left field for a base hit. Eddie Brooks with his first hit of the evening, a clean single into left field, and the Wildcats have the first 2 men on here in the fourth.
This ball's hit pretty hard, Rob. Just out of the reach of Tommy Barnes. He's probably a little upset. He feels like he probably could have got to that ball. Maybe he couldn't have made a play, but could have stopped it. Maybe he made a play at second. Good start for Kentucky. 2 on, none out.
Back-to-back singles by Brad Hindersman and Eddie Brooks to start the fourth, and the hitter is Chris Combs, batting from the left side.
So obviously you might think bunt here. It's a good situation, too. Just what Keith Madison wants. There it is.
And butted right back to the pitcher's mound. The only play, though, will be to first base. A little bit of a low throw made by Townsend, but the sacrifice is successful. Exactly what he wanted to do. Combs has advanced the runners over to second and third. So the Wildcats now with 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 man out.
Well, that might be a tip-off that Keith Madison thinks this is going to be a low-scoring game, or could be a low-scoring game. He'll scratch out as many runs as he can here early.
1 down. Hindersman now at third, and Eddie Brooks has moved up to second base. The Wildcats with 2 runners in scoring position, and Pookie Jones in a big RBI-producing situation here.
I would think that Townsend will be very careful with him if he walks him. Load the bases, have the force play everywhere, or he could just throw curveballs out 6 inches off the plate and maybe get a strikeout.
Yeah, Pookie went around. No balls and 1 strike to count to him.
I guarantee you Pookie's not going to see a fastball, not in the strike zone.
And the pitch hit foul, grounded back behind home plate, and quickly the count 0-2 on Pookie Jones.
Now that was a pitch that was not well placed, and Pookie Jones wishes he had that one back. Thompson, on the other hand, very fortunately got away with it. It was too good a pitch for a curveball, hung it up.
Pookie 0 for 1 on the evening, grounded out to second back in the second inning. Came in tonight hitting at 288. 0-2 pitch. And popped up to the right side. That should stay in play. Tucker Howard camping underneath it. He puts it away, and there's 2 out now. So with the runners at second and third, Jones fails to deliver. And it's going to be up now to Adam Shadburn, the freshman out of Louisville Male, to see if Kentucky can get a run home here in the fourth and break this 1-1 tie.
Here's Shadburn. They're meeting on the mound out there between the shortstop, the catcher, and the pitcher. Want to get things straight. Probably the shortstop probably wants to just make sure about the signs. He knows what each pitch is going to be. He'll relay it to a second baseman, and he wants to be on. They all want to be on the same wavelength. Oftentimes, you can tell where they position themselves defensively as to how they're going to pitch a hitter.
Shadburn struck out his first time up back in the third inning. He has just 2 hits and 21 at-bats on the season, and the pitch outside a ball, 1-0. Score tied 1-1. Wildcats got on the board first, getting a run on a triple and a sacrifice fly by Matt Braga to take a 1-0 lead in the first, but Louisville came right back to tie it up with 1 in the third. That an unearned run because of an error on the man who's hitting right now, Adam Shadburn.
Timeout. I think a baseball maybe went on the field.
Ball came out of the bullpen down the right field line. Now Townsend steps on the rubber, and we're set to go. 1-0 pitch. Hit foul back just over our heads and out of play in the count, even 1 ball and 1 strike.
Really playing Shadburn as a pull hitter. Second baseman very close to second. He'll hold the runner on if they were to make a play at second. And the second baseman, Cuss, is playing very much to pull.
Townsend out of the stretch position, checks the runners. Here's the 1-1, and it's outside a ball, 2-1.
Tried to nibble with a breaking pitch. Get him to bite at a bad one. Coach John Butler and Brad Hendersman.
Hendersman with the lead off third. Eddie Brooks leading off second, and the pitch swung on and missed. That's strike 2. 2-2 now.
It was just a fastball that Shadburn couldn't do anything with. It was by him in a hurry.
Townsend has just 1 strikeout on the night, and that came back in the third inning when he struck out Shadburn. Here's the 2-2. Inside, we got a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, obviously, Townsend would much rather have to deal with Shadburn than to load him up for Jeff Michael. He's really asking for trouble there.
3-2 pitch.
That's exactly what he did.
And the bases are now loaded as Shadburn gets the 3 pass down to first base.
Well,
that's the first walk that Townsend has given up tonight, Tom.
Got Andy McCord coming up. My mistake on that one. Need to learn the lineup.
Andy McCord, the redshirt freshman out of Lexington Lafayette, will now come to bat with the bases loaded.
Thompson trying to wiggle off the hook here.
McCord a single to right field back in the third inning. Gets a big cut. That's a strike. 1-0. 0-1, I beg your pardon.
McCord on that swing pulled his head out. Didn't keep his eye on the ball.
Bases loaded. 0-1 pitch. There's a strike, and it's quickly 0-2. The Wildcats here in the fourth with a golden opportunity to break this 1-1 tie. Hendersman at third, Eddie Brooks at second, Adam Shadburn, the runner, at first, and the batter, Andy McCord. But right now, as he steps in, he faces an 0-2 count. Townsend works plate work. High and inside, and it's 1-2.
Defense plays McCord straight away.
1-2 pitch, and he
pitch.
strikes out swinging.
Really good pitch, Rob. He took something off of it, and that was just he just outfoxed him there. Nice job by Thompson.
Well, indeed it was, as with the bases loaded, Andy McCord strikes out swinging to end the inning. Let's pause now for all of our affiliates on Sports Channel. We're tied. Kentucky 1, Louisville 1, and we'll continue along from Shively Field in Lexington after this. And we're heading now to the top half of the fifth inning with the score tied, Kentucky 1 and Louisville 1. And for the Louisville Cardinals here in the fifth, it'll be the bottom third of the order. Jason Michalakis, Scott Klein, and John Kuss to come plateward. And we have a new pitcher in the game for the Kentucky Wildcats as Troy Trumbo, who was warming up in the bullpen in the bottom half of the fourth inning, has now come on the mound. Trumbo 2-0 on the season with one save, 479 earned run average. In 35 2/3 innings of work, he has given up 36 hits, has allowed 24 runs, 19 earned runs, and has given up 5 homers. And here's Michalakis to leave it off, and a strike.
Good fastball, Rob. He comes right overhand, much like Paul Morris, who's another pitcher from Danville.
The right-hander Troy Trumbo now working in relief of the starter Lorne Frazier, who did a fine job. And this one on the inside part of the plate, and quickly 2 strikes on Michalakis.
Rob, the final numbers on Frazier: 4 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 run. It was an unearned run, no walks, 4 strikeouts, 55 pitches, 36 strikes, 19 balls.
There's a ball, and the count goes to 1-2. Well, yet another fine performance on this season for senior pitcher Lorne Frazier out of Moorhead. 1-2 pitch from Trumbo, and Michalakis thought about it. Let's see, they check down now to the first base umpire, and it's a called strike 3.
Well, I'd like to see the replay on that one.
Didn't look like he quite went around.
It didn't look like it, but then most of the time when you see the replay, you're wrong. So he probably did. I just hate to be called out by a guy 90 feet away from you.
So Trumbo records his first strikeout, 1 away, and here's Scott Klein, the catcher. 1-0.
Well, it's obvious from one hitter plus that Trumbo has great velocity, has a live arm, a very strong kid, big kid, a lot of potential.
Klein takes it low and inside, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. It was Klein back in the third inning who delivered that double into left center. And he was later able to come around and score thanks to the RBI single by Keith Dillon. Ball hit well to center field. Back near the warning track. That'll be in for extra bases. Klein heading towards second, and he'll coast in standing up with a double. Scott Klein, 2 for 2 on the night. He doubled the left center back in the third inning and delivers another double here in the fifth.
The replay, ball's right down the pipe. He got every bit of it. I don't think the Kentucky outfielders felt like he could hit the ball that was going to hit the ball that far. They weren't playing very deep at all.
Now that's the first hit off Troy Trumbo. And with 1 out now and Klein at second, the hitter is second baseman John Kuss. 0 for 1 on the evening. He flied out to center field his first time. Bunting and bunting foul. Kuss hitting at .252 coming in tonight with no homers and 11 RBIs. He's a junior out of Springfield, Ohio. So far against the Wildcats this season, he is just 1 for 8. although he did have 2 hits yesterday against Morehead State in the ball game up at Morehead. Trumbo working out of the stretch, and the 0-1 pitch. Call strike on the outside corner.
Good pitch. Trumbo showing there he can change speeds real well. I don't think Cuss particularly pleased with that call.
So quickly, Trumbo ahead of Cuss. No balls and 2 strikes here in the 5th inning with the game tied 1-1. And the Cardinals right now with the tie-breaking run out at second base in the name of Scott Klein. 0-2 pitch a little low, and it's 1-2. Cuss has played in all 41 ball games for Louisville. He has the dubious distinction of leading this team with 34 strikeouts and 155 at-bats. Hit .320 last season in junior college, and he goes down swinging here, strike 3. Now Trumbo gets his 2nd strikeout of the night.
Trumbo showing some real poise out there for a young kid, Rob. He's mixing his speeds well.
And that one coming in a big situation with Klein, the potential go-ahead run out at second. Tommy Barnes now with 2 outs. And it'll be up to Barnes to see if he can bring that run home. Barnes grounded out to short in the 1st, then reached on that error by Adam Shadburn back in the 3rd inning. Strike call. Tommy Barnes, a fellow who leads this Louisville team in 4 categories. At-bats, hits. He had 54 hits coming in here tonight. 15 doubles, 2 triples. Currently has a 5-game hitting streak going. Trumbo out of the stretch in the 0-1 pitch. Hit sharply through the right side into right field. That's a base hit. Here comes Klein around 3rd. And he's tagged out.
Not even close.
Great throw by Pookie Jones in right field. And Scott Klein, with the potential go-ahead run, is gunned down at home plate. Let's take another look at it.
It's an excellent hit. Good piece of hitting by Tommy Barnes. Jones charging, comes up throwing. He has a great arm. It's a marvelous throw. And Billy Thompson, the ball's there early. Billy Thompson has plenty of time to block the plate. This is not even close. The most exciting play in baseball, a lot of people think. And that one's not even close.
Big defensive play. We go now to the bottom of the 5th with the game tied 1-1. And look at that. Fans of all ages enjoying college baseball here in Lexington, Kentucky tonight. I bet he's not even a year old out here at the ballpark, Tom.
18, 19 years from now, Rob, he may have on a Wildcat uniform. You'll be calling games that he's in.
Great night for baseball here in Lexington, Kentucky. I'll tell you, we have had rainy, blustery, windy weather throughout the early spring, but we absolutely hit the jackpot here tonight with this weather. This has got to be probably the nicest night of the year so far.
Beautiful day.
Jeff Michael steps in to lead off the 5th inning for Kentucky with the score tied 1-1 and the pitch inside a ball. Still out on the mound for the Cardinals.
Townsend.
Terry Townsend. And this pitch hit hard down the left field line. Just fair, just fair. That'll be in for extra bases. And Michael Coson into second base with a stand-up double. So a good start to the 5th inning for the Wildcats as Michael rips a pitch down the left field line that is just fair, and he's into second base standing.
the pitch is in on the inner half of the plate. They play him to pull, but he hit that ball right down the line. I mean, it's right on the chalk almost.
I'll tell you, Tom, I thought the third base umpire was going to call that ball foul. Look at that.
Yeah, that's right on the chalk.
Just fair.
Well, both teams have had opportunities, and they've failed to capitalize. Good teams, if you're going to win, you have to take advantage of scoring situations. You got to look again. You got to look for a bunt right here, Braga, or he may just let him hit away and try to pull it to the right side of the diamond and advance Michael that way.
Michael out at second with nobody out here in the fifth, and the pitch is inside, a ball, 1-0. Braga had that sacrifice fly back in the first inning, which accounted for the Wildcats' only run here tonight. Then he reached on the interference call on the Louisville catcher Scott Klein back in the third.
With Tommy Barnes trying to hold Michael on at second base, there's a big hole at shortstop, the left side of the diamond.
Townsend works, and the pitch outside, that's ball 2. 2-0.
Thompson needs to settle down now. He needs to remember that he's got to get the hitter out. That's his first priority. Coach John Butler flashing some signs, looking around. He's been here a long time with Keith Madison.
Townsend out of the stretch position, and the 2-0 pitch. That's a strike, 2-1.
What he has to do, he's got to throw strikes. He's got to make the guy hit the ball. You got to forget about that runner on second base and concentrate on getting the hitter out.
Wildcats threatened in the last inning with the bases loaded. And the inning ending as Andy McCord went down on strikes. Here's a throw back to second, and Michael is back in safely. Now here to start the fifth, a leadoff double by shortstop Jeff Michael, and the hitter is Matt Braga. And time called now as apparently catcher Scott Klein had something in his eye there behind home plate, and now we're ready to go. Kentucky won, Louisville won. In a ball game that has moved along rapidly here tonight in Lexington as we're already into the bottom half of the fifth inning. 2-1 pitch. And a strike on the outside corner. That evens the count, 2-2.
Excellent pitch. He's kept the ball away. Little activity now, Rob, in the Louisville bullpen. Looks like that's right-hander Sean Freebert, sophomore.
First activity that we've had in the Louisville pen tonight. The pitch way inside, and the count now is going full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Matt Braga. Catcher Billy Thompson waiting in the on-deck circle. He'll be up there next.
Here's Freebert, number 8. Right-hander, 5'11".
And ball 4. So Braga works it to a full count and then works it to a base on balls. He gets the free pass down to first. And the Wildcats now with runners at first and second, nobody out, as Billy Thompson comes plateward. Thompson grounded out to second back in the first, then flied out to right field. In the third inning, he's 0 for 2.
Assistant coach Mike Snyder going out, have a word with Thompson. Probably trying to settle him down a little bit right now. Doesn't take long in this park to dig yourself in a real hole.
Well, Townsend has done a good job. He gave up that triple to lead off the ball game, and a run produced on a sacrifice fly by Matt Braga back in the first inning, but that's the only run he has given up. Worked his way out of a really big jam in the fourth, as the Wildcats had leadoff singles by Brad Hindersman and Eddie Brooks, and then loaded the bases on a walk to Adam Shadburn, but Townsend got out of the inning by striking out Andy McCord.
I'm sure that meeting probably, as much as anything else, was to give Freebert a little more time to get loose, buy him a little time down in the bullpen. But Townsend, he's got his work cut out for him now. 2 on, none out. Billy Thompson up. 3, 4, and 5 hitters.
Runners lead from first and second as Thompson awaits the pitch, and he squares the bunt, and it looked like it hit him right on the helmet. I couldn't tell for sure whether it was the shoulder of the helmet, but it looked like it hit him right on the left side of the helmet.
Well, we'll check it out here. It looked like the helmet. He squared around the bunt. It was a breaking pitch. Well, you got the tail end of it there. I think he got his helmet. Here it is again. He squares the bunt. And hello, right off the helmet.
Right off the top. And Thompson moves on down to first base. So now the bases are loaded with nobody out. And designated hitter Brad Hindersman stepping in, the junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
The infield is in at the corners. They'll come to the plate probably. Short and second, they'll go for the double play.
Strike one call to Hindersman, as Townsend now faces the deepest hole that he has been in all night long. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Kentucky seriously threatening to break this 1-1 tie here in the fifth. Townsend out of the stretch, the 0-1, and he gets the call on the outside corner.
You can tell from Hindersman's reaction there that he didn't think it was a strike. That was a pretty generous call there. That's a pitcher's umpire. That call anyway.
Quickly, 2 strikes on the Kentucky designated hitter Brad Hindersman. Hindersman hitting .380 coming in tonight, 4 homers, 35 RBIs. And this pitch well out of the strike zone, and it's 1-2.
Townsend's been a magician so far, being able to work his way out of these tough situations, and it'll take a magician to get out of this one. Obviously, he'd like a strikeout here, and then that would set up the double play that would end the inning, get him out of it. Tough to strike out Brad Hindersman. 1
ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And he really got around on it. A pitch that was high and inside and pulled it back foul out of play. Count holding at 1-2. Matt Braga leading off second there. Jeff Michaels the runner at first.
Center fielder Charlie Allen actually shades Hindersman a little bit to the left half of the diamond. Almost straight away.
1-2 pitch. Fly ball left field. Sean Harkins makes the catch, and tagging up in third and coming to the plate is Michael, and he just made it home with a headfirst slide. Catcher there, Scott Klein, thought he may have missed the plate, but Michael hustling down the line and comes home head first. And the Wildcats on the sacrifice fly by Brad Hindersman move in front 2-1.
Well, everything's well executed here. It was a good piece of hitting. Hit the ball to the opposite side of the field, went with the pitch. Nice throw. It just wasn't there in time. You can see Klein. There's Harkins, the throw. Not a bad throw, just Michaels has got too much speed.
Well, 1 away in the inning. Kentucky still with runners at first and second base. The Wildcats have now moved in front 2-1, and the hitter is second baseman Eddie Brooks, the sophomore out of Lexington. Brooks grounded out to third, back in the second, then had a single to left in the fourth. 1 for 2 on the evening.
He's checking for signals. He's hit the ball hard all day, Rob, and he's pulled everything too. He's been very much in front of the pitches.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Eddie, a free swinger. Will not be cheated at the plate. He got around on that one, pulled it in the air to left field, and a good play made by Sean Harkins as he came in and gets the runner Braga doubled off second base.
That was a good pitch by Thompson. The ball was in on Eddie Brooks' fist. Just fought it off.
All right, on the double play, the inning comes to an end, but the Wildcats do break through with a run here in the fifth. We'll continue from Shively Field in just a moment with the Wildcats leading the Louisville Cardinals 2-1 through 5.
Check out the replay here, Rob. The ball's in on Eddie Brooks' fist. He fights it off, punches it to left field. The ball's shallow out there. And Kentucky, I don't know if they had a play on, if they was running on contact, or if it was just poor base running. There's Eddie Brooks. He's trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, that ball looked like it was sinking, but still Harkins was able to get in on it. And I'll tell you this, Gene Baker has to be happy to get out of that inning with only 1 run given up. There's your score. Kentucky leading Louisville 2-1, but the Wildcats, remember, had the bases loaded there in the 5th with nobody out.
And you're 4, 5, and 6 hitters up, and you only get 1 run out of that. So, like you said, Gene Baker and Thompson got to be pleased to get out of that jam. That's a major league jam.
Let's see now. We may have a pinch hitter now to come up and lead off the 6th inning for Louisville, as it looks like Joe Hagdorn, sophomore out of Louisville Trinity, has come out of the dugout, and he is coming up to home plate. So Hagdorn, a sophomore outfielder, stepping in place of right fielder Keith Dillon. And I would have to imagine that he will remain in the game and play right field. But this is the first move in the Louisville order that we have seen tonight by manager Gene Baker. There are the stats on Hagdorn, hitting at .255, no homers, 7 RBIs, has 12 hits in 47 at-bats.
Well, he probably wasn't going to play against lefty Lauren Frazier, but with a right-hander on the mound, that left-handed bat looks pretty good in there now.
Here's the pitch by Troy Trumbo, and a strike call on the outside corner.
Good look at Troy Trumbo, big, strong kid. Like I said, excellent basketball player at Danville.
Trumbo with the 0-1 pitch, and chopped foul, and back into the Louisville dugout. Quickly 0-2 now to Joe Hagdorn.
Lucky to get a bat on that one. That ball was pretty much in the catcher's mitt. He just sort of way behind it, fought it off, hit it into the Louisville dugout.
Hagdorn, 5'10", 165 pounds, came to Louisville by way of Georgetown College. This pitch high and inside, and 1-2 the count.
Probably, we don't have a radar gun up here, obviously, Rob, but that's probably the fastest pitch that Trumbo's thrown so far.
And the pitch outside, the count even 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I don't know what Billy Thompson's going to call here, but if I were calling it, he gets a fastball. I have the feeling he can overpower. Trumbo can overpower this kid.
Here's the 2-2 delivery, and it's popped up out into short center field. Coming in to make the play is Andy McCord, and there's 1 away here in the top half of the 6th inning. So Hagdorn retired on the easy fly ball to center. And the big guy, Tucker Howard, now steps in for the Cardinals.
Well, this ought to be an interesting matchup. You have a guy on the mound with a lot of zip on his fastball, and a power guy, Tucker Howard, who probably likes the fastball.
Hagdorn 0 for 2 on the night, or I beg your pardon, Howard 0 for 2 on the night. Popped out to second base in the 1st inning and fouled out to the catcher, Billy Thompson, back in the 3rd. 1 ball and no strikes to him.
Looked like a hard slider on that pitch.
Howard looking out at Troy Trumbo. 1-0 pitch. There's a strike on the inside corner. 1-1.
Well, that's a Cooperstown pitch there. If any pitcher could make that pitch consistently, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame someday. Tough pitch for any hitter to hit.
And strike 2 call. 1-2 now with 1 out here in the 6th, and the base is empty for Louisville. Cardinals now trailing the Kentucky Wildcats by a score of 2-1 as Kentucky broke through in the 5th inning, breaking that 1-1 tie. And that pitch in the dirt, and it comes all the way back high off the screen. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Trumbo overthrew that one. The catchphrase now these days, he needs to stay within himself, not try to do more than he can do, more than he's capable of.
Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tucker Howard. And the ball chopped foul at home plate, the count holding at 2-2. Howard's out of Paintsville, Kentucky. He led Paintsville to the Kentucky State Tournament Championship. Set the school record in batting average when he was playing down at Paintsville. And right now he doesn't carry a bad average at Louisville. Came in tonight hitting at .329, 6 homers and 22 RBIs.
Paintsville, as all Kentuckians know, Rob, is a town, a school that's rich in athletic tradition.
Ball hit on the ground to short. Jeff Michael with the easy play and throws it away. Well, Billy Thompson there backing up the play. The ball kicked back off the wall, but that'll go as the second error of the night for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's something you're not going to see. He just came over the top, lost control of that ball, and threw it straight down into the dirt. Not much Brackett could do with that one. Wave at it, pray.
Howard reaching first base on the air by Jeff Michael.
Just a guess, Rob, but I don't figure Howard as a base stealing threat. That's just a guess.
Hitter now, Charlie Allen. He takes the ball and it's 1-0.
But I do see him as a guy who can break up a double play.
Troy Trumbo now having to work out of the stretch position as he comes to the belt, checks the runner, and the 1-0 is fouled off to the right side and out of play, and the count even 1 ball and 1 strike.
Somebody on that.
Allen so far tonight 0 for 2. Struck out back in the second inning, then lined out to the third baseman back in the fourth. Still looking for his first hit of the evening. 1-1 pitch from Trumbo and taking a strike call. 1-2 now.
Very good pitch. Slider. Kept it down and away. Tough pitch to do much with.
Tucker Howard with a lead off first. 1-2 pitch to Charlie Allen is low and outside, and it's even now at 2-2. Charlie Allen homered in the ball game against Morehead State yesterday up in Morehead. Had 2 RBIs, went 4 for 5 in that game. And did he go around? Yes, he did. Strike 3 swinging. And a big strikeout indeed, recorded by Troy Trumbo.
Bad pitch. Low breaking ball. Allen started his swing, tried to hold up. Nothing he could do with it. Let's check it out here. Comes over the top. Trumbo does. The ball's down in the dirt. Ball had a lot of movement on it. Fooled Allen. He just couldn't hold up in time.
2 away in the inning now, and Darren Opel hits it down the left field line in foul territory. And Chris Combs down there not able to get to it. It's out of play. No balls and 1 strike to third baseman Darren Opel. Opel 0 for 2 on the night. Flied out to right field in the second and grounded out to second base back in the fourth. Still looking for his first hit. Cardinals have 1 run on 4 hits. Kentucky 2 runs on 5 hits. 2-1 Wildcats as we play here in the 6th inning. A little bit outside, the count even 1-1.
Well, the Kentucky defense doesn't think that Opel is going to get around on Trumbo. They shade him to the left side of the diamond also. And he's not going to get around on him. Didn't on that pitch anyway.
Big swing, 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Now Trumbo just 1 strike from getting out of the inning. Comes to the belt, checks the runner, and here's the 1-2 pitch.
Good job, baby.
High and outside, it's 2-2. Sean Harkins waiting in the on-deck circle for Louisville. He'll be up there next if Darren Opel can keep the inning going. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And hit foul.
Again, the ball a little bit by him and also in on his fist. And the pitcher, with the kind of velocity that Trumbo has, Rob, when the ball's in on his fist like that, it's really all you can do is just fight it off. All 3 of these pitchers that we've seen today, Frazier, Trumbo, and Louisville's Thompson, have all been very poised.
2-2 delivery and down in the dirt, and the count goes full now at 3 balls and 2 strikes, and a good stop there by Billy Thompson. That ball gets by him. Runner moves into scoring position with 2 outs.
Well, Howard will be moving on this pitch. 3-2, 2 outs. And a base hit or a single or maybe even a double to the gap. He might score.
Opal out of DePaul, Indiana. Senior third baseman. Full count, 3-2. And ball 4. So Opal trots down to first base. Moving on down to second is Tucker Howard, and the Cardinals now have 2 men on with 2 out here in the 6th. And the batter, Sean Harkins.
Good shot there, Billy Thompson, trying to settle his young pitcher down. I'm sure he's telling him to concentrate on the hitter.
And Harkins now is headed back into the Louisville dugout, Tom, and we're going to have a pinch hitter here. As number 18, Glenn Meyers, senior, left-handed batter out of Wilder, Kentucky, went to Newport Central Catholic. Glenn Meyers,
good player,
all-purpose man for this Louisville team.
He's the guy, Rob, who pitched the 2-1 game that beat Kentucky. He's the pitcher who beat Kentucky, and he's oftentimes is in the role of DH. You can see with a 383 average.
Well, now time for a conference on the mound as everyone in the infield has come on in now to talk things over here with Troy Trumbo. Now we do have some activity now down the right field line in the Kentucky bullpen as right-hander Brian Reed warming up. There you see him. And the home plate umpire now heading out of the mound to break up this little discussion, as obviously they are trying to give Mr. Reed some time to get ready, Tom.
Yeah, Brian Reed. Coach Madison said before the game he's going to try not to use Reed, but apparently he's going to if he sees the need to. And like you said, that sermon on the mound was